In the last 10 years, everyone seems to have suddenly woken up to the magic of Malayalam cinema, an industry that's been producing absolute masterpieces since decades. But within these masterpieces, there are many underrated, misunderstood, commercially unsuccessful gems that didn't get the love that they deserved when they released, and that's what today's video is about. But before we start with the list, few weeks back I did a giveaway collab with Nokio, and the winners of that giveaway will be getting a 500 rupees worth gift voucher from Fully Filmy. And to the rest of you who could not participate that time, I'm going to tell you how you can win the giveaway in just a little bit, but first, let's start with the list. Thoovanathumbikal. Today, Padmanamjan's Thoovanathumbikal is one of Malayalam cinema's greatest cult classics, but back in the 80s, because of how progressive it was, how unafraid it was to show its protagonist as a flawed man leading a double life of a pure family man in his village and a playboy in the city. A double life that flowed into his relationships as well, falling in love with two women, with one of them being a sex worker. Dealing with such themes and characters can go in any direction with other filmmakers. But Padmanamjan's deep understanding of human relationships and emotions, his novelistic approach to filmmaking, and the sensitive, non-judgmental lens that he applies to the world of his films makes Thoovanathumbikal one of the most romantic movies ever made. The way he uses rain as a character that makes its appearance at particular points in the relationship between Krishna and Clara, which is elevated by Johnson's iconic BGM. For today's audience, it's usually difficult to watch an older film because of the heightened melodrama or the dated ideologies of the time. But this film is a vibe. Iblis. I don't know why, but fantasy as a genre is not very much explored in Indian cinema, especially considering how many stories we have in our mythology. What is life? What's the right way to live it? How to perceive death, and especially life after death. Every culture has its own interpretation of life after death, and the world of Iblis has its own set of answers that will actually make you wonder, look at things that are happening around you and ask yourself, are these just coincidences or random events, or is someone from the beyond actually trying to communicate with me? If all the childish energy, curiosity and innocence that you used to have could be taken and stored inside a jar of sweets, that jar is Iblis. Unbelievable that Rohit VS is the same guy who made this film and also Kala, which is so different in terms of themes, style, treatment and perspective of the world. Love. This film might be triggering, disturbing, the black humor may not work for everyone, and the way the film progresses might even confuse you. But personally, once in a while, I like to watch films which can actually mess with my mind. After seeing that dedication in the opening credits, I had no idea what I was going in for, and half an hour into it, it started feeling less like a film and started playing out more like a video game, featuring a married couple stuck in the situation and all the choices that lie ahead to get out of it. Imagine taking Sriram Raghavan, David Fincher, Tyagarajan Kumar Raja, Anurag Kashyap and Ram Gopal Verma, put them in a mixie, blend it all up and serve it as a dish. That is love. I know it sounds messy, and it is, but in a good way. Probably Shine Tom Chacko's best role yet, and another unique film in Khalid Rahman's versatile filmography that includes Unda and Tallumala. But even as I recommend this film, I have to give you a trigger warning. This movie is not for everyone. But something I can definitely recommend for everyone is Nokio, an app that solves the problem of what to watch next for you and your friends. And downloading Nokio can also help you win the special giveaway in this video. If you want to pick a movie or a show to watch, this is what happens when you have Nokio on your phone. No more scrolling mindlessly on every OTT platform. No more searching through your WhatsApp messages for that one recommendation that your friend gave you months ago. No more going on IMDb or Letterboxd or YouTube or so many other sites to check reviews. Nokio solves all of that. You can check out the latest trending content playing on different platforms, create circles of friends whose recommendations you really trust, check out reviews and which platform that movie or show is playing on, add them to your watch list, and you can also recommend what you watched to your circle of friends. Easy. And now to take part in this week's giveaway, all you have to do is download the Nokio app on your phone, add 10 new friends to the app. They can be your friends or family members or even your crush you're trying to impress with your film knowledge. Take a screenshot of your profile with at least 10 friends on it, and then you can either email the screenshot or you can Insta DM it, and the first 30 people to do this get a free 500 rupees worth gift voucher from fullyfilmy.in. Also, I've just crossed 6,000 followers on the app whom I share recommendations with and also take recommendations from. So if you're a true cinephile, don't forget to follow me there and join the community. Good luck, and now let's get back to the list. Aavasyavyuham. Even though in terms of plot there's absolutely no connection, this film is similar to Love in terms of how it makes a kottu parota of so many different genres and also your brain. Over the last couple of years, I've had so many different people suggest this film to me without telling me what it's actually about, and when I started it, after seeing the first 5 minutes, I was confused whether this is a movie or some random documentary that I clicked on, but thankfully I didn't stop it because oh my god. Let's leave Malayalam cinema. This is one of the weirdest, most uniquely structured and produced films that I have seen across any language. To pull off what director Krishna did, you don't just need guts. You need a certain kind of madness, a non-judgmental love for different genres of cinema, comic books, and every form of storytelling, unbelievable clarity and vision of your final product, an original sense of humor, and genuine love for the world that we live in. I don't want to say trust me bro, but seriously, trust me bro, cross the first 5-10 minutes, watch this film completely and tell me, did it blow your mind or did it blow your mind? Artist. Even though Fahadh won the Kerala State Award for this film for Best Actor, personally I feel that in the first half of this film, his performance as Michael Agnello, this purest, passionate artist, is still a little rough around the edges. But beyond that, this film belongs to its female protagonist, Gayatri, played by Augustine, who also won the Kerala State Award that year. Struggling and sacrificing a lot of things to follow your own passion is one thing, but to give up a life that you could have had for the sake of someone else, for your partner to follow his passion, that's true sacrifice. Artist is a film without any big moments or big reveals, but the way that Michael and Gayu's relationship is captured in such a simple yet intense way is what really kept me hooked until the very end. You'll feel like punching Faasil's character for being such an asshole to Gayu, a woman who left everything behind for him, and maybe you've seen such people around you in your real life. The next 3 films are all partly or fully set in prison. The first 2 are Bhoothakkannadi and Sadayam. Instead of telling you their story, I'll tell you what these 2 films have in common. Both films have been written by 2 of Malayalam cinema's most iconic screenwriters, Lohita Das and M.T. Vasudevan Nair, and you'll feel like both films have a very strong novel-like feel to them, unfolding non-linearly in chapters. Both are about imprisoned men, fully aware and guilt-free of the crime that they've committed, with performances by Mammootty and Mohanlal that will haunt you for days. Both men are people who are deeply affected by everything that's going wrong with the world and how the same society is so careless and indifferent to what's happening around them. Both films will shock you at the end like someone punched you in your gut. And both of them failed initially at the box office, but today have become cult classics. The third is Madilagal, directed by the legend Adur Gopalakrishnan, who creates this world within the walls of a prison without any fancy camera work, without any flashbacks, and still manages to hook you with just a superb character played by an actor who is at the top of his game, giving a performance that won him a national award that year. Bashir's equation with the jailers, the other inmates, the roses in his garden, the woman on the other side of the wall whom he falls in love with without ever getting to see her face, and above everything else, his ideologies that he expresses with a smile on his face while hiding so much pain inside. What a journey into the mind of a man who will make you smile, well up with tears, affect your own ideologies, and change your idea of what freedom really means. Nyan Steve Lopez. Between his debut romantic film Anayum Rasulum and the powerful Kamati Padam, Rajiv Ravi made this small, unassuming film that starts off as a stress-free, feel-good coming-of-age drama and then boom, escalates the film onto a whole new plane. Even though things get a little dark in the film, especially in the second half, there's an overall muted and lazy energy to the film, but at the same time, a freshness that hooks you to this curious character called Steve, who is just like any one of us, with all his flaws. But beneath all that is a good heart that's probably too good for this world. The plot is wafer thin, but how Rajiv Ravi decides to make it come alive visually, considering his expertise as a cinematographer, is what makes this film so watchable. The best example of this aspect is that one phone conversation that happens between Steve and his crush Anjali. What a unique way to show a type of scene that's been done to death over so many decades of cinema. And finally, Big B. Shout out to Vishal Menon from Film Companion for hyping this film so much for me and getting me to watch it. And even though today it might seem a bit dated, I can understand why Vishal and fans like Vishal would have loved it so much when it came out back in 2007. A few minutes into the film, because of the unique lighting and camera angles which I hadn't seen personally in Malayalam films from that time, I saw a strong influence of peak Ram Gopal Varma from the late 90s and early 2000s and wondered if there's any connection between the filmmaker Amal Nirad and Ram Gopal Varma, and indeed there is. is. Before getting into films, Amal Neeraj started his career as a cinematographer of documentaries, music videos and ads, and his diploma film somehow caught the attention of Ram Gopal Verma, who is a man who is known for constantly looking out for fresh talent. And before you know it, Amal shot 3 films for RGV, and during that process, maybe absorbed a lot of his style, which you can so clearly see in Big B. Beyond the story of 2004 film Four Brothers that it's inspired from, the way this film is shot and how it showed Mammootty in a brand new light is what makes this film so underrated today. It was an average performer at the box office initially when it released, but today, it's one of those movies that started a new chapter in Malayalam cinema in terms of making and style. Everyone has their own definition of the word underrated, so I'd love to know what are your favorite Malayalam films that you think are underrated in the comments. And if you love Malayalam cinema, which I think you do, you should check out my other videos that I've made around Malayalam cinema. Don't forget to download Nokio and participate in the giveaway. And for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.